Hey, what's up? It's Tristan from Ecom Ladder, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I test my products on Facebook and how I find winners that I can scale to thousands of dollars a day. So the testing method I'm going to show you, I've been using for years. I've launched hundreds, if not thousands of products using this exact same method. I've found lots of winners doing it. So I know everyone has like a lot of different ways that they test products on Facebook, but I honestly don't care that much because this is the way that I've developed, and it's through a bunch of testing. It's what's working right now. I guarantee you that if you try it doing this way, you'll find a winner a lot quicker and a lot cheaper than what you've previously done. So I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video for a while, so I'm going to jump in, but just want to say before I jump in that to make sure you don't skip any slides at the start, because it's really important that you pay attention to the first few slides so you learn about the Facebook ad auction and what Facebook wants to give you, because you're able to create ads that are way more profitable. Alright, so let's get into it. So when you think about Facebook, you just got to think of it as a business, right? It's a big business and it has two segments. It's got its advertisers and it's got its end users, right? So Facebook makes 100% of all its revenue from these advertisers. And in order for Facebook to keep making money, it needs to keep both the advertisers and the end users happy. So if the end users are getting blasted with like too many ads, like irrelevant ads, they're going to leave the platform, and Facebook doesn't want that because they'll lose all their money. So as long as Facebook is able to keep advertisers happy and end users happy, it's going to make a shitload of money. And the way Facebook is able to keep both of these segments happy is the way that their Facebook advertising platform is set up. So the Facebook ad platform works like an auction, right? So whenever you launch an ad in Facebook, what happens is that you're competing with other advertisers on the platform for your ads to be shown to your target audience. So usually in a normal auction, the person with the highest bid will always win, but with Facebook it's a little different because it takes into account these other two factors here, not just the bid, right? It takes into account the ad quality and relevance and the estimated action rates. So if you've got no idea what I'm talking about, that's fine. It gets a little bit complicated here, but it's just still good to have like an understanding of this stuff. So an estimated action rate is basically how likely your audience is going to respond to your ad. And Facebook calculates this thing on its own, so it's sort of out of our control. But what you gotta understand is that the ad quality and the relevance here is in our control. So we need to make high quality ads that appeal to our target audience. And I'm gonna show you later in this video a little trick that I use to increase the quality and the relevance of an ad. But basically, if we have an ad with a high quality and relevance score, we don't have to bid as much. So that means our campaigns are way more profitable. Okay, so that's the Facebook ad auction. Let's move on to campaign objectives. So when it comes to testing products on Facebook, there's been heaps of debate recently over which campaign objective is the most effective to test with. So just to take it back a step, PPE stands for page post engagement and WC stands for website conversion. And when you create a campaign in Facebook, you can pick either of these objectives. So I know a lot of people who test with PPE, and also know a lot of people who test with WC. Personally, I've tested both, and the ones that work best for me time and time again is PPE. And I'll explain in a little bit why the reasons I think you should be using PPE as well. But I know I might cop a bit of shit for saying this because I know some people who swear by website conversion ads, but I'm not the only one right now who's seeing better results for PPE. So this dude here, that's Tim Bird. He's probably one of the most respected guys running Facebook ads right now. He spends over 6 figures a month on Facebook, and he's the admin of one of the biggest Facebook ad groups. It's called Facebook ad buyers. So he commented in a recent thread that he's been seeing PPE ads outperform WC ads, and so are all these other dudes down here who were in the same thread, and they're just basically saying that PPE ads are performing better for them as well as opposed to WC. So let's have a look at the website conversion objective. So website conversion objective works awesome when you're scaling, doesn't work so well when you're trying to test products. So assuming you've got your Facebook pixel set up on your Shopify store, when you create a new campaign with the website objective, within that campaign you'll create an ad set, and you'll get the option to optimize that ad set for a specific conversion event here. So let me just show you this in Facebook now, right? So say if we go and create a new campaign, I'll start over. So we want to select conversions, continue. So this is how you set up a WC campaign, right? So in here, this is where you choose the conversion event that you want Facebook to optimize your ad for. And I've got lots and lots of custom conversions here on products, so I'm going to blur this out for you. But I'm just showing you where to go, right? So if we come back to this slide, in that blurred out box that I just showed you, there'll be 3 standard conversion events, right? So there'll be view content, add to cart, and purchase. And then you can also create custom conversions like I've done around specific products, but These are the three main conversion events here. So if you select your ad optimization for view content, right, you're telling Facebook that you want your ads to be served to people who are most likely to view the content on your website. If you select add to cart, you're telling Facebook that you want your ads to be served for people most likely to add to cart on your website. And purchase, that's obvious. You're telling Facebook you want to find audiences that are most likely to purchase on your website. So you're probably thinking right now, well, obviously I want to optimize my ads for purchase. But before you do that, right, have a look down here. Right, so this is a screenshot that I've taken directly from Facebook Ads Help Guide, and it basically says here that in order for your ads to optimize effectively, you need a minimum of 15 to 25 conversion actions per week, so per 7 days, before the algorithm can optimize correctly. So I think 15 is way too low. You need a bare minimum of 25, and ideally you need over 50. So that means if you want to optimize correctly for any of these conversion events up here, you need 25 of them before you can do it. So if you want to optimize for purchase, you need 25 purchases within 7 days in order for it to optimize correctly at a bare minimum. So when you don't have that data to optimize correctly, Facebook doesn't really know what to do, and it won't optimize for that conversion event. So I know some people that actually use the WC objective for testing, and what they do is they optimize for view content, because it's obviously much easier to get 15 view content conversion actions as opposed to purchases. But in my experience, doing this just brings me a ton of unqualified traffic. So I get heaps and heaps of clicks, but not many add to carts and purchases, and it's probably lower quality traffic. So anyway, instead of using the WC objective altogether for testing, what I recommend doing is using the PPE objective instead. So PPE works awesome for testing products for a few reasons, but it doesn't work too well if you're trying to scale. I mean, you can scale on smaller budgets, but once you scale past like $100, it tends to become unprofitable, even if the audience size is huge. Anyway, this is why I like PPE for testing. So the PPE campaign objective allows you to advertise on the suggested video placement, which the WC objective doesn't allow you to advertise on. I don't know why this is, but it doesn't matter because not many people are bidding on this placement right now, so you're able to get much cheaper clicks and cheaper sales. The second point is that social proof builds up on the ad much quicker. So you get a ton of comments saying stuff like, I want this, I need this. And what that does is that all that engagement increases your relevance of the ad, so it brings down your ad serving cost, like I talked about in the Facebook ad auction before. It also like pre-frames the audience and gets them into buying mode. So when they're seeing everyone comment on an ad saying, oh, I need this, I want to buy this product, it makes the prospect much more eager to buy. So another point here is that there's a high chance of the ad going viral with a PPE objective, because the ad set optimization is optimized to post engagement. So what happens is Facebook is more likely to serve your ads to people who are likely to share and engage with the ad. But just picking the PPE as an objective doesn't mean that it's 100% going to go viral, because it's got a lot to do with the product as well. I've got a whole another video on my channel about product research and selection, so check that out as well. This down here is a screenshot of a winner that I recently had. So you can see here that this is the organic versus the paid reach. So when you launch a PPE campaign, you only pay for the paid reach. So that means when people are sharing and commenting and tagging their friends, you don't pay for any of that. And if a user purchases through the organic reach, so say if someone tagged their friend and their friend bought, that sale won't be recorded in the Facebook Ads Manager. So the only sales that are recorded in the Ads Manager are from paid. So I mean, when you're using PPE, you'll get a bunch of organic sales that aren't recorded in the Ads Manager, but they're able to build up your pixel data much quicker. So that's why I recommend using PPE. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set up a good PPE campaign in a little bit, but let's just move on to campaign structure for now. So what you want to do is you want to test 6 different products at a time. I usually test 12 products at a time, but I've got a VA who uploads my products and writes the product description. So if you don't have a virtual assistant, just upload 6 products to your store at a time. And make sure you've written like a decent product description for each of your products to give your prospects the highest chance of the product being purchased. So then what you want to do is you want to have 1 product per PPE campaign. Within each campaign, you want to have 1 ad set. Within that 1 ad set, you want to have 1 ad, right? So it's pretty simple. The aim of the game is to just test as many products as quickly as possible, right? There's no point wasting time creating different ad variations if the product isn't a winner. And I'd recommend not to spend too much time doing your audience insights and your audience research, because you want to get as many products up as quickly as possible and just test them rapidly. So in terms of the actual campaign setup, I'm going to jump into Ads Manager and show you a good PPE setup in a little bit. But I'll just quickly run through each of these points here. So campaign objective, you want page post engagement, PPE. So the daily budget, you want to set it to $6 USD per day. So if you're in another country, just convert 6 USD to whatever your local currency is. So in Australia, that's where I'm from, I run $7.50 per day. Use auto bid. So with the placement, you want to run on Facebook only. So not Instagram, not audience network, just Facebook. And you want to run on the news feed and suggested videos, like I mentioned before. Suggested videos have really, really cheap clicks. The country, so you want to start off targeting US only. I always start off testing in US, and then if I find a winner, I'll scale to different countries. Age, I always pick 20 to 65. I find that anyone under 20 has a much lower propensity to purchase, probably because they don't have as much income as the older age groups. Audience size, so I usually pick between 250 to 600K for my testing. So the targeting method I use is flex targeting. I'll show you exactly how I do this after I've gone through these notes. The language, I always pick English. The optimized delivery for post engagement, that's just standard with PPE. The schedule is 12 a.m. launch. So you always want to schedule your ads to run at 12 a.m. because what happens is Facebook paces your budget evenly throughout the day when you're using auto bid. So if you launch ads at say midday, it will try and spend your $6 in that space of 12 hours, where if you give 24 hours for Facebook to pace the budget, it spreads the budget a lot more evenly and you get better quality traffic. So for the ad type you're gonna do is a page post, a dark post. So I'll show you how to set this up in a second. You want the CTA button, shop now, and the ad copy, you wanna ask a question, then you wanna have the link twice in the ad. You want an engagement request, so ask them to like, share, and tag a friend. And scarcity, you want to say for today only. And I'll show you how to do this in the ad. But the format, so video I think is a lot better. I see lots of cheaper engagement, and Facebook algorithm favors video right now over photo. But I've still had winners where the ad format has been photo. So I mean, it's up to you. A really easy thing to do is just make a video slideshow of the products in your ad. That usually works really well. So let's go into Facebook and test this out. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to go through the whole process, right? So a winner I had about a couple of years ago was a variation of this product here. So it's a watercolor brush pen, and I was targeting artists. So I'm going to show you the whole process of setup. I wouldn't say go in and copy this product exactly, because by now it's probably saturated, but I'm just going to show you it as an example, right? So I actually had a video slideshow ad that showed a bunch of these images just for 2 seconds each, but just for the purpose of using this, I'm just going to save this as an image ad, and we're just going to set up an image ad because it's a lot quicker. So I'm just going to save that image that we'll use in the ad. Alright, so what you want to do, we're going to do this in Power Editor because you can create a dark post in Power Editor. So we'll go to Power Editor. Okay, so Power Editor is what I usually work in. It's a lot easier to use. I'm just going to close this tab here because it has all my products in it. Okay, so we want to go to create campaign. So I usually put 001 for the product. So if I'm testing a new product, I'll have each product with separate numbers. So if it's the second product I'm testing, I'll have 002. Start it off as PPE, and then I'll have the name for it. So we'll just call it brush pen. So that's fine. So the campaign objective we want is post engagement, and I'm just going to copy and paste the campaign name into the ad set and the ad name to keep it simple. And we want to go save to draft. Alright, so this is the campaign, the brush pen. Let's hop into the ad set and we'll edit the ad set. So here's the ad set here. So what we're going to do is go into edit. This is where we set up all our settings from the previous slide. So our daily budget, right? We want a $6. I want a $7.50 budget because the price is in AUD, which is my local currency. If it's US, you want $6. So the scheduled start time right now it's September 2. So I want to start at September 3 at 12 a.m. to give my ads the best chance of being run all day and to deliver quality traffic and pace it evenly throughout the day. So I don't want to schedule an end run. Just want to keep it going, and then we'll pause as we look at the metrics further on. So down here, we want to target US. That's fine. We want 20 to 65 plus. As I mentioned before, you don't want people under 18 to buy. So I went into Audience Insights before this, and in Audience Insights, it showed me that about 80% of the artists on Facebook are women. So I'm going to choose women for this. If you're not sure about the key demographic for it, just select all. But I know from looking at the Audience Insights that the gender with the highest propensity to buy is women. So leave that here. So languages, put all. So before we get into the targeting, we have to input some of these other settings first. So for placements, right, we want to go edit placements. We want to take off Instagram, take off Audience Network. And then we'll open up Facebook. The two placements we want, right? We want feeds and suggested videos only. It's really important to leave on suggested videos here. Cool, that's all good. So the optimization for ad delivery. We want post engagements, that's correct. And bid amount, we want it automatic. And all this is fine. So now that leaves us with the targeting. So we're going to use flex targeting here. So what flex targeting means is that you want to narrow down your interests and make sure they're hyper targeted. So what I usually do is that I have 2 or 3 interests that I flex, and then I stack some interests inside as well. So for the first targeting, I usually take an interest that has really, really broad targeting. Say like, we'll have a look how many, so we got 1 million for artists. So we want something a lot bigger. That's maybe a bit too big, 231. Drawing. So we want to get a really big audience to flex with. Yeah, so about 89 million. So that's a good broad target that we want to start off with. So our reach here is going to hit a 5.1 million, right? So see this here, narrow audience. This means flex the targeting. So it means that someone must have an interest in drawing and must also match at least one of the other interests that we're going to put in here. And what that does, right, is because like my mum, for example, she may have liked drawing like 3 years ago on Facebook, or like the page related to drawing 3 years ago on Facebook, right? So if we just targeted people who like drawing, it could potentially target my mum, and she right now has no interest in drawing, so it's just an untargeted interest. So to make it hyper targeted, we need to add other interests in there to make sure that the prospect is actually into it. So,
Mommy.
oh, sorry, that was my girlfriend. So I don't know if that mum explanation was very good, but maybe let me try and explain it again. So here we want to flex the drawing interest. We want to niche down further, right? So now I want to put in people who are into watercolor, have an interest in watercolor, right? So we have some interest down here. So I'll choose here watercolor painting. And then that audience, it's okay, but it's a little bit small, especially if we have potential to add more in here. So I'm going to stack another similar interest in this interest group related to watercolor. I think I saw some more interest groups for watercolor. Oh, that's the Australian spelling. Yeah, so I'm going to stack it with some more watercolor interest in this group. So our audience is coming up a little bit. So we'll stack it with some more watercolor painting. Still wouldn't mind a bigger audience here. So another good thing to do is just click here within this interest group, and it will show you a bunch of more related interests. So I'm not going to add in acrylic painting, although you could, but I want to keep it as niche as possible for this specific product. So our audience size is 260K. That's fine. You could just target this targeting as it is now. But let's say if the targeting was, so it was more than this, right? So for example, we stacked an interest in our broad interest group. So we had, say, painting as well. We add this to our broad. So audience size now is 620,000, and so I recommend you find audiences between 250 to 600K. So say if we had this, right, we wanted to narrow the audience down further. What I usually do if I'm trying to get my my audience in between 250 to 600K, I'll add engaged shoppers. So I'll flex another interest, right? It'll be engaged shoppers. And so engaged shoppers are basically anyone who has clicked the call to action button shop now in the past week on Facebook. So this is an awesome group of people to target if your niche targeting gets too big. So if we flex it with engaged shoppers, we'll come down to 360,000. And then what you can also do is niche that down further to online shopping. This is the massive interest group as well. So still 320,000 people. So this is a really, really targeted audience of people who are into drawing or painting and have an interest in watercolors. So this would be an awesome targeting set to target. So say if I use this targeting and this product had potential and it was getting sales, I'll then go into audience insights and do much deeper targeting around watercolor painting. Like I'd find like famous watercolor painters, see what magazines they read, I'd see where they shop. But when you're drop shipping, you want to do your targeting as quickly as possible. You want to test as many products as quickly as possible. So this targeting when you're testing is fine. Okay, so let's go in and create our ad now. So that's our ad set that's been created. Let's go into ads. So this is our ad here that we want to edit, or we want to create. So firstly, you're going to choose the Facebook page you want to advertise it from. So I've got about 20 different Facebook pages that are all associated with different niches, which I advertise from. But if you don't have that, you can just advertise from your shop page. So just select the page that you want to advertise from. So down here, right? Because this is where we're going to be creating our dark post. And what a dark post does is you create an ad, but you don't actually post it to your page. No one else can see it. So you can run heaps of traffic to it, but it won't show up. So your competitors can't copy it. And you can also run separate ads to it. So you come down here to the plus button. And for this ad, we're going to do a photo. We're going to upload that photo that I downloaded before from AliExpress from that product. So this one, right? So we're going to upload it, and in the copy, this is what we're going to say. So first we're going to ask a question, and we're going to also capitalize each word because this leads to higher click-through rate. So we're going to say, do you love watercolor painting? Question. All right. So then we want to say, people are going crazy over these watercolor some brush pens. Then we want to put our offer in, 50% off with free shipping today only. And scarcity here, so limited stock remaining. And then we want to put our link twice. And so for the link, right, I usually use a bit.ly link. So I'd come here and say like your shop, whatever it is, your shopname.com, and whatever the product page is, would shorten it. We get a little bit.ly link here. So we go copy. We'll put it in here, and always put it in twice, right? You can have order here or like claim yours now. Claim yours now actually tends to work a little better. And on the last line, I usually have an engagement request. So I usually say share plus like plus tag someone who would love this. Oops, would love this. And then what we want to do as well is add emojis in there. So emojis usually lead to higher click-through rate. You can just Google and search for like emoji list, and you can add some of these emojis in there, but I usually put these emojis here in there. Alright, cool. So that ad looks good to go, except make sure the bit.ly links are all working. And then here, when we go save unpublished post, this will just save it to the Power Editor. So this won't appear on your page or anything. It will just be an unpublished post that you can run ads to. So let's save it. And then this is what the ad will look like. We also want to add a call to action button, some shop now. And then you put your shop, like your product page, whatever it is, here. So once you finish your ad, just click the arrow back button, and then you want to go review draft items. And what this does, when you go confirm, I'm not going to press confirm because it's a live ad account that I don't want to post it to, but if you go confirm, it will upload your campaign, your ad set, and your ad, and we schedule it to launch at 12 AM tomorrow, so we'll schedule then, and that's all you've got to do. Yeah, so I just looked at the time and realized this video is getting super long, so I'm going to split this training into 2 separate videos. So when you've done this, click onto my part 2, and you can see how I look at my ads and determine which ones are winners and which ones that I can scale.